Hey, Mr. Harrod, I'm here. Going to go over the second part of doing pH calculations here. And the key to doing pH calculations is finding out where you're starting, finding out where you're going, and following the map to solve the problem, okay? So, in pH calculations here, we have pH, which is the parts of hydrogen, okay? Here's another thing here before I start here. pHs and pOHs, you're going to see me round those to the hundredths place, just to make it easy on me. There's a sig fig rule, but you'll learn that in AP chemistry or IB chemistry if you want to go that far. Okay, so pH is the parts per hydrogen, pOH is the parts per hydroxide. Okay, H plus is the molarity calculation or molarity concentration. OH minus is the hydroxide ion concentration here. So basically how this works here is, let's say that you have OH and you're trying to find a pH. You can go across using this equation, and then you go up using that equation. Okay, so you would go H plus times OH minus equals 1 times 10 to the negative 14th to get to your H plus, and then you would do negative log of H plus equals pH, and then you would get your pH. Or you could do negative log of OH minus equals pOH to go up here, and then you go across by using pH plus pOH equals 14. Okay, the key is just being able to use the square and the calculator and good fun stuff like that. Okay, remember brackets mean molarity. Okay, let's go off to the next page here. Next page, starting off, okay, example 8.8, okay, if the hydrogen ion concentration of water is known to be 4.3 times 10 to the negative 6th, what is the hydroxide ion concentration? Is the solution acidic or basic? Okay, so we are starting off with hydronium ion concentration, which is H plus. Okay, that is what we are starting off with, is H plus, which is in the lower right hand corner here. Okay, we are trying to find the OH minus, which is right across from there. So the equation we're going to use to do this is H plus times OH minus equals 1 times 10 to the negative 14. The OH minus is going to be equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 14 divided by H plus. 1 times 10 to the negative 14 divided by 4.3 times 10 to the negative 6th. You divide those two numbers here, so you would get out your calculator here, and you would just use the E key for this, so you would do 1 second E, remember that's that blue EE key, negative 14, divided by 4.3 second E negative 6. Okay, that would get me an answer of 2.3, because we're going to 2 sig figs, because that number has 2 sig figs, times 10 to the negative 9th molarity of OH is how you would see Mr. Harrod label that. Okay, so that would be our hydroxide ion concentration here. Now the problem is we really didn't figure out it was the pH yet, because the thing is with this chart here, to figure out if things are acids or bases, the easiest way to do that is to focus on the pH. So basically for each one of these problems, I'm going to have to find the pH. To do that, I would have to go up here from H plus. So I would do pH equals the negative log of H plus. pH equals the negative log of 4.3 times 10 to the negative 6th Okay, so to do this on the calculator but here, you would use this negative button here first. Then there's a log button right here. And then I would type in 4.3 second E negative 6. Close parentheses. And then I'm going to round that to the hundredths place because that's what I said I was going to do. So this is 5.37. Okay. Which tells me that this is a acid. Right? Right. Because the pH is less than 7, so it's an acid. Thank you for all the cheers there. Okay, moving on to the next problem here. If the hydroxide ion concentration is known to be 1.6 times 10 to the negative fifth, what is the hydrogen ion concentration? Is it acidic or is it basic? So right now, we are starting off with the hydroxide ion concentration. We are trying to find the hydrogen ion concentration. So we are going to go across that way. Okay? So we're going to use this formula right here. H plus times OH minus equals 1 times 10 to the negative 14th. Okay? So H plus times OH minus equals 1 times 10 to the negative 14th. You have to really watch your labeling here to make sure that you're plugging the numbers in the right spots as well. Okay, so this is hydroxide ion concentration. That is OH minus. Okay, so that is going to be 1.6 times 10 to the negative fifth. Sometimes you see me plug in the numbers directly. I usually don't do that, but I did for this one because we're going to end up dividing by 1.6 times 10 to the negative fifth for this one. You gotta write the numbers right, Mr. Harden. 1.6 times 10 to the negative fifth. And we get an H plus concentration of 2 sig figs here. So this is going to be 6.3 times 10 to the negative 10th molar H plus. Because that's how you're going to see me label that, right? Of course, because that's what we do. Now, we still haven't figured out if it's an acid or a base yet, so we have to go up to figure out if the pH, because we have to focus on the pH. Okay, so then we're going to do pH equals negative log of H plus. pH equals the negative log of H plus was 6.3 times 10 to the negative 10th. I gotta put it on the screen, Mr. Harden, for him to see it. Come on, Mr. Harden. I get a pH of something. Negative log of 6.3 E negative 10. I got a pH of 9.20 because I'm going to round them all to the hundredths place, which tells me that this is a base. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's do one more problem here and then I'll make another video for the next one here. So, okay, here we go. If the pOH is 5.6, what is the pH of the solution? Is the solution acidic or basic? Okay, so again, if we're looking at my chart here, okay, pOH is right here on the top right hand corner. So we're going to go across to pH by using this equation right here. pH plus pOH equals 14. The pOH is 5.6. This is 14 plus pH. So we subtract 5.6 from both sides. So pH is equal to 8.4. And I should put 8.40 because I want to round them to hundredths places. So you know. Okay. And then since the pH is above 7, we know that this is a base because we have to focus on the pH to determine if it's an acid or a base. Okay. Hey, okay. You guys are champions. The legend is out.